Guys, welcome back to the channel, and in this video we'll be learning how to use database and Python. So a prerequisite is that you need to know some like SQL queries, if that makes sense. So what we need to do first is make a new directory, mkdir, will just be database Python, and then we'll now go into that directory, database Python, and then we'll now open VS Code. So once we've done that, we need to pip install cycle pg2. That's for us to like be able to use, wait, sorry, pip install. That's for us to like, that will make us be able to like use Python and database together. So once we've done that, we need to go here, make a new file called main.py, or any file, any name you want it to call, and then you just import cycle pg2. Okay, then you need to go and download pg4 admin. That's if you don't have it yet. So if you don't have it yet, just go and just pg admin download, then download whichever one suits you. For me, I'm using Windows, so I downloaded the one on Windows. And once you've downloaded it, and once you've set it all up, you just go there and then open it and just wait for it to load. Once it's loaded up and set up and ready to go, you go back into the Python file just to make sure that it runs properly. What you do is just run it just to make sure that you have pip, you have the cyclepg installed already. So how to run it is just in terminal is Python, the name of your file, and then just press enter. So that means we've already pip installed the cyclepg and is ready to go. But if that shows an error, just go paste the error into Stack Overflow and then just review the errors, and it's going to show you what to do next. Then after that, we're going to write two functions to interact to the database. The first one is to connect to the database, and the second one is to add items to the database. So to connect to the database is just quite easy. I'm just going to paste the code I wrote before. So this is the code. Let me just explain what each of them does. So when you want to connect to the database, you just is cyclepg.connect, and inside the connect parameter, inside the connect function, you need to pass in the database name, the username, the password, the host, and the port number. The host, the port, and the database name are usually always the same, but the username and the password are the ones that you initialized while you were setting up the pg4 admin. So after you've done that, let's just run the code to make sure everything is working properly. So what you do again, you can run it on the VS Code terminal, but I prefer to run it in this PowerShell terminal. So what you do again is just run the same command, python main.py. So since it's not showing any errors, we know that it's working. It's working properly. A good coding convention is that you run your code at each section, like at each step that you make, so that we make sure that everything is running properly and there's no errors. So after that, we need to create another function to make a table in the database. So let me just paste that right here. I'm just gonna paste that right here. So I'm just gonna explain to you what this code does. So first of all, we define a function called createTable, and then we connect to the database using this with connect as con. And this connect was this function that returns this connection. So once we do that, once we've connected successfully, then we go into this place and then connection.cursor, and then after that we can execute an SQL query. So what I did was I created a table. If the table does not exist, if this table exists in the database, it's going to bring out an error, but I don't want an error to show. That's why I said we create the table if this condition is met. So that's if the table doesn't exist. We'll create the table called Python table. You can name this any name you want to name, but I chose to name it, sorry, I choose Python database table. And then inside this table, we pass in two parameters, username and the age. You can let me just pass in another one, username, user, surname, var char 50. And then we put a comma again. So this varchar means this is like a string, and the maximum amount of characters that you want to have in the username is 50. We can set this to 100 if you want. It's, to be honest, completely up to you, but a string with with maximum 50 characters, same thing as this one, and the age as well. But let me just remove this one because like it's not needed. And once that's done, let's run the code again to make sure it's working. Python min.py, it works perfect. So what we can actually do now is actually run this create table so we can be able to view it in the database. So we just call this function here create table, and then you save it, go to and just run it again. Python min.py run, so it works successfully. And how you can view it is when you go to your page for admin, you click on server, you go down to schema, and then you click on that one as well. Wait, sorry. So you go to database, go to Postgres, go to schema, click on it, and then you scroll down to tables. Inside schema, you scroll down to tables, and then you refresh again. And if you open tables, you should see the table that you created there. So the one that we created was this one. Just to make sure that it works again, let's just change this name to practice. Actually, wait. Teaching how to use databases. If you save that and run it again, you go to your tables, you refresh, it you see the sit there. Perfect. And what we can actually do now is actually add items to the table. So let's make another function to add items to the table now. So after that, we will just make two more tables again. One to add to the database and one to view the things that are in our database. So to add to the database, let me just paste the code just to save time. I'm going to explain this code. So first of all, we create a function called insert into database, and we passed in the username and the age, which is the username and the age that we want to pass into. Then we open a connection, which is this one, and then we create a cursor that allows us to execute queries. And inside the cursor, we say core.execute, and then this is quite easy. So insert into the database table that we want. Since we want to insert it into this Python database table, we say insert into Python database, and then we pass in the value, like we pass in the attributes that we want something to be inserted into, and in this case is the username and the age. We insert into the database table, and inside the database table, what do we want to pass values into? In this case is the username and the age. And then after that, values what do we want to pass into these attributes? We want to pass in the username and the age. So for that, we just do %s for this one and %s for that one again, and then we put comma, the username and the age, and then we commit this. That's connection to commit, which save the changes to the database. So all we can actually do right now is run this. We just say insert into the database table. We pass in the name Pythonify, and then an age 29, and then we can save this, go back and run it again. Python main.py, correct. And then we go into the database again, refresh. Let me just make this full screen. Wait. And then once we refresh the page again, and we go into the Python database table, click right click on it, just click on query tools, and then after that, here we put select star from our database name, which is Python database table. We'll now put semicolon, and then when we run it, we should be able to see the Pythonify and the age again. If we rerun this and just change the name to Andrew, and we change the age to 44. Save that again, run it, Python main.py is added to the database. So when we go here again, refresh, and then rerun this code again, we see the Andrew and that. I almost forgot to explain what this star actually means. So this star means everything that's in the table. So right now we can see that this is everything that's in the table. So if we have like 1000 items in this table and we want to actually select and view all of them, we just put star and it selects everything that's in the table and display it to us. So this is just the beginner's tutorial on how to use Python and database and SQL Postgres together. The next video I'm going to make is a simple login sign up system that makes use of Python and database so that you be able to understand it more and implement it into one of your projects. Thanks for watching. Bye.